What's good, Joe? What's good, Real Talk Squad? This is Miles. Listen to Real Talk with Miles Johnson, where I always keep it real. I'm back at it again with another video. Y'all always know I'm going to give y'all that content. And y'all know I'm going to talk about my 76ers. You've seen the title of this video. I done checked the camera, all that. You've seen the title of this video. Is this the make it or break it season for the Sixers? Is this championship or bust? Tell y'all, it is. It's championship or bust. I mean, the moves that the Sixers have made, they're all win now moves. And I know Daryl Morey, I mean, he's one of my favorite guys in sports because the way he was able to turn around this Sixers team since he got there. People forget, when Daryl Morey got there, they had Josh Richardson and Al Horford next to Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Like, the paint was so clogged up, bro. So clogged up. He gets there. He flips Josh Richardson for Seth Curry. He flips Al Horford for Danny Green. And then uses those assets to go ahead and get James Harden, DeAnthony Melton, drafts Tyrese Maxey. I mean, look, the moves that he's made, he's got PJ Tucker in there. We're going to talk about him. He got that Daniel House. He basically has the Philadelphia Rockets just... instead of Capella, you got Joel Embiid. I mean, so this Sixers team has a very good shot, and Daryl Morey has done a phenomenal job of surrounding a team around Joel Embiid. But I'm afraid to say, and it pains me to say this as a Sixers fan, but I feel like if the Sixers don't win this year, Joel Embiid will never win a championship. This is because Joel Embiid, this is the first time he's really paired up with a superstar in James Harden. If James Harden plays like a superstar, the Sixers will win the championship. If he does not, especially come playoff time, especially come in the clutch, the Sixers will not win the championship. Unless Tyrese Maxey ups his game to an all-star level, and then he can carry us in the clutch. But those two players have to substantially level up their games. The problem with us was that Tyrese Maxey, a 20-year-old, 21-year-old, was our second best player in the playoffs. That's just simply not going to get it done. That's just not going to get you. And I love Tyrese Maxey, but it's not going to get you over the hump. And so with this roster right here, Embiid has got to be healthy. He has to be healthy. One thing the Sixers have to do is get a backup center so they can really share the load during the regular season. And then come playoff time, Embiid is healthy, he's rested, and he's ready to go. My thing is Tobias Harris as well. I wouldn't say I love him. He's a good player. It's not he wouldn't be a bad player to be on this team. But I don't think he fits as well as other players. I would like to see him be traded for a guy like Buddy Hield, a guy that can shoot the lights out. Now, Tobias Harris can create his own shot, but he's not that three-point shooter that is probably needed to space the floor out better with James Harden, right? Well, matter of fact, Tobias Harris, he could come off the bench. He could come off the bench. Then you have DeAnthony Melton, you got Daniel House, PJ Tucker. They can probably take his spot. Not DeAnthony Melton, but PJ Tucker or Daniel House could take his spot as the small forward, as the power forward in the starting lineup. And then Tobias Harris controls that second unit, gets his buckets and all that. Because that was our problem come the second unit. I mean, those guys couldn't get a bucket to save their lives, right? Back in the playoffs last season. So we're going to see what we do with Tobias Harris, but if I could bet some bread right now, I would not. I don't think they're going to end up having Tobias Harris on the team next season. I don't see that. But another reason why this is a championship or bust season for Joel Embiid is because I don't see him unless Tyrese Maxey becomes a superstar. I think this is the best James Harden we're ever going to get. Because if James Harden still is like a step slower than he once was, or he's just really not a superstar anymore after having a full season, a full off season to train, work on his craft, work on his step back. This is his first full off season where he's not injured in the past in the past year or so, right? This is the time to where James Harden can really put himself back on top. And if he can't do that this season, it's just not going to happen. I mean, this guy's 32 years old. He's going to end up being 33. I don't see him doing better 2 years from now compared to next season. You see what I'm saying? So James Harden is really the key. And if he doesn't get it done this next season, bro, like, just forget about it, bro. Just forget about it. Forget about it. So a lot of pressure is going to be on James Harden to help maximize this window for Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is, when we talk about, like, there's guys that are stars, that are superstars, but they aren't expected to, win a championship. Joel Embiid is of that talent that if he doesn't win a championship, the Sixers organization will be, or his tenure with the Sixers will be seen as a failure. Like, Joel Embiid is too nice to not have a championship. I think we can all agree that he's too nice. Like, Damian Lillard, he signed that extension. Great player, top 75. But I'll be honest, I don't expect Dame to carry a team to a championship. I expect Joel Embiid to carry a team to. I think he can, but he hasn't had a reliable co-star with him. The only time he did, he had Jimmy Butler, and that was back when he wasn't even the player he is now. And they took the champs to 7 games, and they, got the luckiest shot of all time with Kawhi's lucky shot, and we know how that ended. But when Joel Embiid has had a dog that could match him in Jimmy Butler, you saw what happened, right? He hasn't had that dog. He hasn't had that superstar to match him. The problem with Ben Simmons, he could defend, he could pass, he couldn't shoot. So Joel Embiid, he would be playing amazing for the first 3 quarters. And then, partly to his detriment, he gets tired in the 4th quarter. He gets tired in crunch time. Teams start double teaming him. He starts turning over the ball. In the end, he's going to need somebody else to create their own shot. And last season, talking about against the Hawks, nobody else could create their own shot in the clutch, especially in the 4th quarter. Tobias Harris, he's not that guy that's like, oh, that's a go-to guy. Nah. He's a good piece if you already have superstars around you. He's probably like, if Tobias Harris, I'll keep shaking the camera. If Tobias Harris is your 4th best player, you got a chance to win a championship, right? But if he's like your 3rd or 2nd, unless you got 2 super duper stars as your 2 best players, you're probably not going to win a championship. So the key is having somebody that can match Joel Embiid. And I feel sorry for him because it's like, dude, I be playing with a broken face, broken thumb. I be dropping 30 every night. If I don't drop 30, we gonna lose. We done traded all our assets to get James Harden. And now this guy still is folding in the playoffs. I'm like, can I just get a reliable co-star? So I think Joel Embiid, he has matured more. I have seen when he was he's a troll on social media. When we talk about his maturity, his leadership, I feel like he's one of those 5 or 6 guys. I'll probably say 5 guys that can lead a team to a championship. I'm about to give you 5 guys right now that I feel like with a team surrounded around them, they can lead a team to a championship. Steph Curry, Giannis, LeBron. He's still that guy, bro. He's still that guy. Jokic, Luka, Embiid. I thought those are like the 6 guys, like right now, that if you build a team around them, that they can lead that team, they can set that culture and win a championship. But the guys got to step up. The others got to step up. Now, it's evident that this is a championship or bust season because who they signed in free agency? They signed a 37-year-old PJ Tucker for $33 million. If that's not a move saying that this is a championship or bust season, I don't know what is, right? So there's extreme pressure. Much pressure on not only Embiid to stay healthy, not only on James Harden to be that same Harden we know he's capable of being, Tyrese Maxey on upping his game to another level, and Doc Rivers. Because Doc Rivers, you have not been showing to be that guy as a coach since 2008. I mean, like, you've underperformed. You've had some good teams. And it's not you had some good teams. You had Kawhi, Paul George. You had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. Yeah, your last time you won a chip, I was 7 years old. So this is not only a make or break a year for the Sixers to win a championship. This is a make it or break a year for Doc Rivers to be a coach for the Sixers. Because I think if Doc Rivers doesn't get it done, they gonna end up firing him. Now, they didn't have a good excuse this season because James Harden was so bad in the playoffs. It's like it's not Doc's fault. It's kind of like the same thing that happened last season when Ben Simmons refused to shoot the ball. Like, you can't blame Doc because a guy don't want to shoot the ball. Like, it's only so much you can do as a coach. He can't play. I mean, he played back in the 90s, but he's too old for that now. I mean, come on, he got to get some help. You got to at least shoot the ball. But enormous pressure is on Doc, and I think that if he doesn't get it done, I think Mike D'Antoni could end up being the coach, right? But I like James Harden's spirit. He opted out. He took $15 million less. I believe in him. I think that he is dead set on winning a championship. You have some guys that are like, you know what, I want to win a championship, and then they go sign a max deal with the bum team that isn't going nowhere. Like, you don't want to win a championship for real. You want to get bread. You would like to win. You would like to win a championship, but you don't want to win a championship. Bradley Beal, he don't want to win a championship, and I got nothing against him. Because if you in the NBA, get your bread. Get out, get your bread. But don't try to act like you're trying to win so bad when you was trying to get the bag, bro. James Harden is putting his actions where his mouth is, right? Is that the saying? At the end of the day, he declined that max from the Rockets. He declined that extension from the Nets. And all he wants to do is be around dogs that can win. Well, guess what, James Harden? You have a dog in Joel Embiid that is a top 5, top 6 player in this league right now. He will show up. Joel Embiid will put up 30 and 10. But it's up to you to be a superstar. It's up to you to match him. Because if Joel Embiid puts up 30 and you put up 18 and 10, this is not going to get it done. If you want to win a championship, you have got to put up at least 25. At least 25. It's just no excuse not to. You have left KD. You left Kyrie. We knew that situation was toxic. But if you're leaving that situation, when on paper you're the most talented roster ever, you got to win a championship. I believe if James Harden is locked in and is a superstar, the Sixers will get it done and will win the championship. But it's up to James Harden to see if he is really up for that task to match Embiid and is capable to match Embiid and get a championship for Philly. Man, if they win a championship, bro, James Harden might be my favorite player of all time. Because what he's done, giving him $15 million, bro, like, I'm not doing that. I like to win, but I like money more than winning. I like to 15 mil? What? What? And that's another thing, bro. I'm going to say one last thing before we get off. James Harden has self-awareness. He has more self-awareness than Kyrie Irving. James Harden realized, okay, I played bad in the postseason. It's going to be a disservice to my team if I take every penny instead of taking less and having them create a roster to build around me and Joel Embiid. He has that self-awareness to know that, you know what, if me and Embiid just by ourselves with a lackluster bench probably isn't going to get it done. He has that self-awareness. Kyrie Irving missed so many games, for his beliefs. And he hasn't had that self-awareness to be like, you know what? I haven't been playing that many games. You know what? I probably haven't been the best teammate. You know what? I probably haven't handled things the best way that I could have. But I still want to get a max contract. You see what I'm saying? Like that, self-awareness part is missing that Harden has that Kyrie does not. So we're going to see if it works out for Kyrie. We're going to see if it works out for James Harden. But I have faith that the Sixers shooting guard, all-time great player, will end up getting it done. I want to know y'all thoughts. Is this the make it or break it season for the Sixers? Is this the best shot Joel Embiid will have at a championship? I think it is, but I want to hear y'all take. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all of that jazz. Be sure to click that link below in the description. Follow me on all social media platforms. And that being said, this is Real Talk with Miles Johnson, where I always keep it real. I'm out, y'all.